My name is Mr. Ahmed, and we're going to talk about graphing motion part 2 today. Previously, we talked about graphing motion when position was plotted on the y-axis. Another type of motion graph that you can draw is when velocity is plotted on the y-axis. As I have mentioned in my previous video, that time is usually plotted on the x-axis or the horizontal axis because time is mostly the independent variable, and the standard unit to measure time is seconds. It is customary to write the unit that you are measuring time in for this graph, and in most cases we will use seconds as the unit, but there are exceptions and we have to be paying attention to that also. Velocity, the standard unit to measure velocity in MKS system is meters per second. So if a graph is drawn between velocity and time, and for example, if a graph is drawn like this, any given time, whatever the value might be, any given time, if you can plot, if it's a horizontal line, the y-coordinate of the horizontal line will always be the same. So if I say that the point right here is, for example, 1, 1, that means 1 second and 1 meters per second, because x coordinate is time and y coordinate is the velocity. So let's say that this is 1, therefore the point right here, that is 1, 1 is 1 second and 1 meters per second. The second point right here could be 1 second and 2 seconds, because time has gone forward and the y coordinate has not changed, so it's 1 meters per second. Anywhere on this graph, if you keep on going forward, time will keep on changing and the velocity will not. That means this particular graph represents a constant moving object, an object that is constantly moving with 1 meters per second. So some students get mistaken after looking at a graph like that and think that the object is stationary. That is not correct, because by looking at the y coordinate, which is velocity, what is stationary, what is fixed, what is constant is the velocity. If the velocity is constant, that means the displacement is keep on changing. On a velocity versus time graph, you can also find the displacement. After 1 second, the displacement is what's found right here. And after 2 seconds, the displacement is the entire rectangle. So as the time progresses, the velocity remains constant, but the displacement keep on increasing. And the displacement from the velocity versus time graph is usually the area under the graph. And same graph can also be used to find another quantity called acceleration, and that is the slope. The slope of velocity versus time graph is the acceleration.